Kenny Povey here with Gardening Simplified. Today I'm going to talk about grow lights. I know it's warming up, springtime's here. We have temperatures, up into the 80s. But for me, grow lights are still an important part. It kind of makes it easier to control light and water on some of the plants and get them started better before they go into the garden. I've just recently up potted these, and these are some that were under my grow light, and I'm going to show you what I have and why it works a lot better in a lot of circumstances. This is what my grow light looks like from the light side of it. Now I actually built this. You can buy grow lights, but all I needed was a 4 bulb. So I took an old light fixture that was a 24-inch, and I actually cut the ends down on it. And I don't know if it was this end, it was the other end down there. And I just shortened it, and then I took and screwed it back on. And then let's see here. Here's my other one actually hooked up, but you can see where I screwed it back on. I just shortened the length of it here and then screwed it back on. Now I run mine under a 48-inch shell, so what I actually did was notch the end of it. I had them on 2 different shells, but they're too wide. For 48-inch, it's only like 45.5 inches or something between the poles and the other pole, so I can't put 2 of them there and be able to adjust the height up and down separately. So I had them on under different shelves, which takes more area. So what I'm doing here is I notch that one, and I'm going to notch this one. And it's hard to judge the power of the light by just taking a video of it. But these aren't your standard grow light bulbs. Your grow light bulbs are 5500 watt, and these are what they call bloom light bulbs. Now bloom light bulbs are 6500 watts, so they're a brighter bulb, and they really make a difference on how the plants grow under it, and it makes a difference when it comes time for me to set them out. Because I grow them in here on my shop floor, and especially when it's cool in the wintertime when I'm starting them, the floor keeps close to ground temperature, but I open up my doors in the morning, and that allows for air to circulate through here. Now I don't put fans on them or anything like that, because we get enough air circulating through here and blowing through here that they make good healthy plants. You could see like the broccoli plants, and of course it's warmer weather now, but we've been having cool nights, in the 50s and stuff. And I just come out that morning and I open up the shop and let the air blow through and cool them down, because plants grow best, most plants grow best when it's cooler. Even tomato plants, when they were in here, it was with the grow light, and this grow light needs to stay about 2 to 3 inches above it, because if you don't, they start getting leggy. And what I tend to do, if I have 2 different types of crops under here, like right now I'm growing some onions for some table onions, and they tend to shoot up and start growing tall. Well, and these are almost big enough I can set them out. I'm going to grow them a little bit longer. And I'm going to do these different next year. I use seed starter for this, and seed starter, to me, it packs up too much. If I'm going to use seed starter in the future, I'm going to mix some vermiculite with it, and possibly even some perlite. But with the setup I have with this chain, I just have a hook, and so as something grows, I can raise the level. And then if I have crops that are Some are new, some are not. Like this side's at a certain level. And if I can get through, I'm rearranging, so it creates a little bit of a problem. But I actually have this up because I have my broccoli out. But my lettuce is under here. Well, it's real little. My broccoli's getting up in size, so I would have it more towards the center, and I would have this size lower. That way I could adjust the light. Now those grow lights that are on poles, yeah, it's convenient, but they won't let you change the angle of your light. What they do is they've got to come down even, and a lot of times when you're growing different crops, especially like you do your tomatoes, and say if you're doing tomatoes and peppers, either you got to have separate grow lights, or you end up with a problem because you have to keep raising your light for your tomatoes, but your peppers are getting further and further away, so the plant starts getting leggy. Let me go ahead and unplug this. But like I say, the importance of grow lights is that it gives you a more controlled way to raise something. Every time I seed cabbage or broccoli directly, even though it comes up, it seems to be planted a little too high, even though its seed was germinated in the garden. And they'll come up and they'll be up just a little bit, and I'll try to, they'll be a little leggy in between because of the season and the light. But I'll try to transplant them because, you know, sometimes you don't have one where you want it or something like that, and I don't have good success. So the easiest way for me is just to grow a few inside and be done with it. They'll be healthy. They'll take and poor plant wants to lay the wrong way. Let's fix it up. Yeah, they'll be healthy, but they tend to just tend to die. They just won't go, even though they're watered. They've got good soil. So a lot of times for me, that's the advantage for some plants. Sometimes you want to put them out early, and that's really important for grow lights. But when you get a grow light, consider the type of grow light that you buy, because you have certain situations, like I mentioned, where your lights have to be at different heights, and the type of grow light might keep you from doing that. You might need more than one, and you might consider, you know, making your own. Like I say, I just ordered the bulbs, and the bulbs are relatively inexpensive when you buy a box of them. And you can buy the T5 connectors, but then you got to buy a transformer that'll run those. But by the time it's all said and done, being I was building two of them, and I had got the 48-inch light fixtures fairly cheap, it was less expensive. Now you can buy the I think it's a 46-inch grow light that takes those bulbs, and I think it's like $99 or something. I think I've seen them like that on Amazon. But consider changing and putting in the if you have one that size, putting in the 6500K bulbs, the bloom light bulbs, and I know you'll be happy with the way your crops are doing. One other thing to note about grow lights, and you'll hear a lot of people tell you that they leave them on all the time. If you want to cause a problem with your plants, that's fine. You're not going to get them to grow right, and a lot of times they'll actually be real tall, and they won't be real stout plants, because plants don't like light more than a certain amount of time a day. And so the recommended time for running a grow light, and I keep a timer on mine, it's 12 to 14 hours. I've said this before in other videos, but I often hear someone say, I leave mine on all the time. Well, think about it just like a person. If it was daylight all the time and you go to sleep and it's bright light, you want to be able to rest, and plants want to be able to rest too. Whenever it's dark, they do other things as far as growing roots and stuff like that. Different processes. Now, I'm not going to go into all that because I don't know all that, but I do know that people that do know plants say that they need to be regulated for a certain amount of time. And so if you hear someone say, just leave them on all the time, your plants grow faster, you will not have as healthy a plant. If you like this video, share it. If you want to see my new ones as they come out, just subscribe and hit the bell button and you'll be notified. And share it if you think it'd be good to help someone else, if the information you think is usable. Thanks, and happy growing.